So today I'm here with Daniel Casanova. Thank you so much for your time today.
No problem.
So our local community have, we've compiled a bunch of questions that people are really interested to know about. So do you mind if I ask you a couple of sentences and you just give me some, couple of sentence answers so we can really start to educate, the community of the Shoalhaven of why people should source their food from all the beautiful local farms in our area?
I will try my hardest to keep it to a few sentences.
Why is it important to buy local food?
No artificial ripening.
Yep.
That's the major one. And seasonality.
Yep.
Those two.
Because I've heard, it goes pretty far, your food, when it's come at the supermarket.
It's minimizing the carbon footprint. It's massive. When I researched a bit more myself and found out food was travelling 3 times the coast of Australia, in just Australian food travelling 3 times the coastline of Australia to get to a supermarket is phenomenal.
So when it would be better travelling from one door in the Shoalhaven to another.
Yeah.
And why do our local producers in the Shoalhaven need our support?
Communities. To build communities. Out of every $100 spent in the community, $68 remains in the community. Local stores, local farmers, local businesses are more likely to support a local charity than a big supermarket.
Wow. And what is the difference between local farm produce and produce bought from the supermarket?
There is no comparison.
No comparison?
As in, you can't compare. When you compare, you're comparing apples with pears. The flavour, the nutrition of home, local grown food that hasn't either been picked green or unripe can't compare to what you find in the supermarket. We get strawberries this big in the supermarket that are still crunchy like an apple and taste bitter. That are bright red like they should have just fallen off the tree, but have no flavour, are crunchy like an apple, and they deem that fresh.
And what are the key health benefits, for us personally and also for our family, our children, if we buy this local produce?
Nutrition. The nutrition is there. When food ripens the natural way, on the plant or on the vine or on the tree, the nutrition is there. The beneficial vitamins required for your body is there. Our bodies are a machine. You put the right fuel in the machine will run. Put the wrong fuel, it'll run, but not for
Just
long.
not as well.
Not for long.
And would you say that local produce contains less pesticides than if we're buying our fruit and veg from the supermarket?
Look, I can speak on behalf of me, definitely. I use no pesticide whatsoever. I spray nothing, no glyphosate, no insecticides. If I find I have an issue with one pest in one area, I won't grow that veg in that area. It just means that's obviously not the area for it, So definitely there's a major difference, and there's no monoculture here. I have a variety.
And so we obviously, if we're buying local food, we're supporting the local economy. But how do we find this? We're all living busy lives. Which is the best way to find out how we can source local produce near home?
Well, now we're more connected than ever. Yet we seem more distant than we've ever been from people. You can jump on. People are too quick to jump on the phone and look for everything other than health. They want look at everything else, what Netflix movie, what this rubbish, that rubbish is going on there. But not, where can I buy good food locally? Facebook, Instagrams, all these things that
there's some quite good farmers markets locally as well.
Farm to you, meat to you. The websites that people are creating to connect us with the food. It's all there. It's at our fingertips. You just have to look for it.
And is buying food, I guess if we're buying local, we're buying food that's, it is seasonal food.
That's right.
And will that cost me more money? I know some people think, if they go more organic, that does cost more money.
That's a big topic. I can't answer this in a few sentences.
That's all right.
Look, what I can say, Bud, is food has been devalued.
Yep.
We've allowed food to be devalued. We've allowed them to sell us milk for $1 a litre. We've allowed them to sell us onions for 50 cents a kilo, And we've allowed this to happen. So now when you show someone good food, very hard for them to want to spend 3 times, 4 times the amount of money of the rubbish food that they're buying, if that makes sense. You know, look, and I don't mean to disrespect any of the commercial farmers or the supermarkets or any of those people, but they've allowed food to be devalued, and you can't put a price on health.
Definitely, you can't put a price on health.
You know, we work so hard using up our health to make money, to then spend the money back to buy back our health.
And do you find, because local produce, obviously we all know how a tomato tastes from your garden compared from a supermarket, do you find that people probably don't need to be using as many things because all the natural flavours are coming out more with the local food?
Definitely. When I eat local meats and meat that's produced here on the farm or from friends, you know, salt is all that's required. I used tomato sauce and sauce everything because I thought that's what was required to give it flavour. But now salt is all that's required. The meat, the veg, the fruit has its own flavour. Flavours that our tongue have forgotten.
Yeah, so we don't need to be putting all those sauces and that over the top of it.
Sugars and all this rubbish, you know, that's going into all this machine-made food, if made natural or if made in the home kitchen, would not need to be there. Definitely.
And do you have anything else you want to say to the Shoalhaven about why people should start sourcing their food locally?
I think it's time that people start to take account for what they're putting in the mouths of their children. That to me is
so important.
It is. Look, I done this so I knew what was going in my kids' mouths. Children don't have access, well, they do now, but the kids can't jump on and read the things we read about the nutrition, the artificial ripening, the pesticides, the glyphosate, all these things. It's our job as a parent to do that research for our kids and make an executive decision for the food for our children's bodies. And I believe too many people aren't making that executive decision. They're too quick to go to the local takeaway store and because convenience. Look, I understand people are busy, but I tell you now, anyone that tells me they're too busy to cook a home-cooked meal, who tell me they have 15 minutes, half an hour, I could show them a handful of things they could make in 15 minutes, half an hour that is 10 times more nutritious than what they're feeding their kids at the moment, and really not that much more expensive than they think.
So I guess what our take is from this, we need to head down to our local farmers market or head down to the gate of one of our local producers and take home some fresh food to cook in the kitchen.
That's right. Then people need to meet the person that's growing your food that you're eating. Go and meet the people.
Yep, create that sense of community again.
Go and look around. Ask questions. So how are you growing this? How are you butchering this? How are you raising? Ask questions. Because I'll tell you now, if you went to the supermarket where a lot of the food comes from the supermarket and seen either the way it was grown, raised or slaughtered, I can tell you now, a lot of people would change their eating habits very quickly. Yeah. Very quickly, okay?
No, well, thank you so much for your time today, Daniel. We've really appreciated being on this beautiful farm of yours on Falls Creek, and now we're going to have to get a goodie bag for ourselves to take home. Thank you so much. Bye.
See you, mate.